Cam Newton played in his first game Sunday since contracting COVID-19, and things definitely could have gone better. I'm Mariah Janos, joined by Evan Lazar. Evan, how much of Cam's performance was rust, and how much is he actually struggling this season, do you think?
A lot of it was rust, and I'm going to get into some of the throwing mechanics things and the rust a little bit here. But I think really the biggest thing that we saw with Cam, and he talked about a lack of anticipation with his receivers, just not really knowing where guys were going to end up and not trusting it and just letting the ball go, knowing that people were going to be at their spots. That comes with practice, obviously. And the fact that they couldn't practice for 2 weeks really showed in that respect particularly, and then it kind of had a trickle down effect on top of the pressure from the offensive line that they were giving up to Cam holding on to the ball for an eternity in the pocket, it seemed at times, and taking a lot of sacks. So that's the biggest thing there in terms of just practice time, repetitions. That will all sort of clean itself up hopefully over the course of time. But from his throwing mechanics perspective, I thought he looked really rusty throwing the football as well. They've done a lot of work with trying to fix his mechanics and make sure that he's a little bit cleaner and smoother as a thrower, because he does have a little bit of an unorthodox release to begin with. So one of the things that we look at is that underthrow to Damiere Byrd, where Damiere Byrd was behind the defense and they could have had a touchdown if Cam puts it out in front of him. The biggest thing is you see Cam his first step with his front foot, his lead foot, instead of pointing it towards Damiere Byrd, he points it to the sidelines, and he ends up actually throwing with his feet and his shoulders parallel to each other, and it's just all the arm coming through the top to try to get that ball out there to Damiere Byrd, and that's why it ended up being short. So they've worked a lot on his footwork. They've worked a lot on his shoulders to avoid that sort of backwards tilt that we see from him sometimes. And I think on Sunday what we saw is that if you kind of get out of repetition, you get out of practice with those types of things, your muscle memory starts to revert back to your original way of doing things. And we saw that a little bit with Cam yesterday.
Today's segment is powered by CarShield, America's #1 auto protection company. Call 800 car 6000 and mention the code BEAT, or go to carshield.com and enter the promo code BEAT for 10% off. That's carshield.com, promo code BEAT. Now, we discussed blueprints not too long ago. Defenses have certainly figured out the Patriots offense and using Cam as a run option. How do you think this has been factoring into Cam's game?
Yeah, they've really started to figure out the read option plays, the zone reads or the gap read plays where Cam will hold the ball at the mesh point and read a defender on the line of scrimmage and either hand the ball off or keep it himself. And the thing the Broncos did was what's called a scrape exchange. So basically what ends up happening is that the edge defender, he's going to crash down immediately to the mesh point, to the running back or to the quarterback going up the middle of the field. Then the linebacker behind him kind of loops around and replaces him on the edge and allows the defense to leverage that edge run as well. So what do you do offensively to combat a scrape exchange? Well, you need to add a third motion man, another player that could potentially carry the ball on those sort of design quarterback runs or read option type plays. The Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson are awesome at motioning guys across the formation and doing exactly that, because with the scrape exchange, you got two guys playing the run on that side of the formation. You have one playing the quarterback and one playing the running back. So if you add a third guy into the equation, well, now you get the numbers back into the advantage of the offense, and you have 3 versus 2. You can either lead block for Cam, or you can be a pitch man for Cam on the outside and put that defender in conflict that has the edge. So that's, I think, the next step for the Patriots in this iteration of their offense is being able to practice a little bit so that they can get out there and drill some of those motion type concepts into their read option plays. So it's not all just Cam and the running back in the backfield exchanging the ball, because these defenses are starting to figure that out.
For all of our Patriots coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Patriots Press Pass.